Going forward after Hong Kong returned from this pandemic with its normal global and economic order, how can it further solidify its global financial center status, especially under current geopolitical dynamics? What I'm saying is the relationship between China and United States, and also the regional conflict happening between Ukraine and also Russia.
Clearly, the overall sentiment today are not good because there's still a lot of uncertainties ahead. But the way I look at it, though, I mean, with the rise of the middle class in the mainland in China, with easily 300 to 400 million people, I mean, what are the needs of these people, right? So I can only imagine the needs of these 300 400 million people will continue to rise. So some of them would obviously will buy the services onshore. Some would prefer to buy offshore. So, and clearly Hong Kong can serve that purpose, or Hong Kong can help this rising middle class for their needs, whether it's a needs in wealth management products, to medicals, to education, all sorts of things. So I think and the rest of the world also, they're eyeing on that 400 million potential consumers too. So while we have the politics, while we have the disagreement in perhaps some of these ideologies, but in the real world, I think nobody we're going to ignore that 400 million consumers, right? So I think Hong Kong and for the rest of the world, right, we can continue to serve China's needs, right? So it's good for everyone. So I can only imagine, while we have politics but business will continue now. But however, at short-term wise, I think there's going to be some volatility, right?
Right.
Some people might walk away from it because they worry about some backlashes. But then down the road, nobody can afford to ignore such market potentials.
Right. Talking about market potential, what do you think will be the next growth momentum of Hong Kong's economy? And how should Hong Kong stay competitive against Shenzhen and Shanghai? Both of these two cities are open very well. They have global city status. They are also financial center, at least regional financial centers.
Right. Well, I know lots of people ask if we are competing with Shenzhen and Shanghai. Sure, we are competing, but I don't necessarily consider them just as competitors. In fact, I see them as potential partners, especially as I mentioned earlier about these onshore, offshore concept. There's so much synergy for Hong Kong, for example, to work with Shenzhen, just being our next door neighbor. There are certain trade and businesses that we don't have the economy scale, but Shenzhen has.
Right.
Meantime, Hong Kong has a lot of other advantage as well. So it only makes sense to see Shenzhen and Hong Kong to work together. We compete, but yet we work together. I think that's the whole idea. And same goes with Shanghai too. I mean, I actually really think that if Hong Kong can continue to play our role, especially in the offshore side, we may not have a huge advantage serving the onshore needs, but I think certainly giving the one country, two system status and the legal and so on, we will play the offshore hands very well.